also had a very robust discussion today about the old site and what we're going to do with that site. There's still some thinking to do there in terms of, and we've got Raymond who's here, who's gone around the old site with other council members to come back and present, and we will be talking to yourself and government in terms of the Look North policy, the community, and what more we can be doing there. This is our normal council meeting, so we're in full swing. We've just done the Audit Risk Committee, and again a great discussion around not only our audited financial statements, which are in good shape, but also our high-level risk register, which is regularly reviewed but also updated in terms of new risks that come in. To start with, this morning we heard from FNUSA, and that was a great presentation, but it was also a little bit confronting from a council perspective in terms of some of the things that we do need to fix as well. They were operational matters, but we think we can work with FNUSA not only to address those quickly, gave us feedback in terms of, from an FNU perspective, what we can do more of in terms of our own team and their expertise and the capability that we've built out, in particular the development of Nanduna, but also how we can help them, you know, lift in terms of what FNUSA does and delivers to our students as well. So we've got some good experience and council members around the table that will help them. So I didn't want to say too much more apart from to thank you. You're always a regular visitor, and we always love hearing from you and your feedback, and it really informs our thinking. So without further ado, I might hand to you for your opening remarks.
Thank you, Chair and Chancellor, for the warm welcome. Council members, the senior management team, ladies and gentlemen, nothing beats meeting people face to face. I was kind of tired of meeting you twice virtually. And virtual meetings, you don't know what to say, when to put us, full stop and comma and then move on. So it was kind of difficult having this conversation, but having this conversation face to face would be great. I want to start off by thanking the senior management team and of course the council members for the work that you have been doing. There is a lot to be done. We have to uplift education in the country. And for your information, some of you are from the academic background. You may have read or attended conferences and meetings where there is a whole global focus on transforming education. There's a big discussion, not only at a national level or regional, but in fact the discussion is at UN level at this stage, which means each and every UN member, Fiji is one of the members, we will be taking some cues from there to see how we can transform our education system in Fiji. So after COVID-19, each and every country has stopped for a while. I'm talking purely from the country perspective, and started relooking at the education system and actually questioning the education system, whether we are doing the right thing or not. How have we changed over a period of time? Because somehow or the other, when you are in the education sector, as I was previously, you tend to feel that you are doing everything right, and why people are criticizing. I mean, there's nothing wrong, come on. We've been doing it for the last 20, 30 years. But actually, it's not about you anymore. You are simply a service provider, and you have to provide service to your clients, and your clients are the students. If there are no students, there is no university, and there is no Ministry of Education. So there is a linkage when you start looking at the education sector. And the focus needs to be from the student's perspective. Sometimes we also get carried away when students complain and we think, they're just complaining for nothing. Really, nothing is really wrong. But here you go, another set of complaints. But no, I look at it as a feedback given to the university, and it's time for you to look at those complaints seriously, because there are universities who pay large sum of money just to get the viewpoints from the students and various stakeholders. But here, if you're getting it, you need to analyze it, understand, and then factor that in the work that you do. And it's extremely important that we consider that. I also want to congratulate FNU. At least you've made your mark in the Higher Times ranking. So congratulations to the council, to the senior management team. It makes us all very proud. Small steps, but definitely a step in the right direction. And we would like to hear more of that. From the government's perspective, you know how committed we are. FNU is our national university. We are very proud of our university, and we definitely want to take this university to another level. When I say another level, it simply means that this university needs to be recognized in the region and also globally. Just like any other university that you hear big names and you go, wow, you studied in that university. So that kind of pride should come for our local university. And to do that, there's a lot of work that the council needs to do. We are dealing with legacy issues from the past, where I said, and similar things that I'm facing within my own ministry. It's not about FNU. It's all about this is how we did it, and there's nothing wrong. And to convince people that no, we need to be in the 21st century, and a 21st century is all about three key issues. One is the change in technology, the other one is climate crisis, and the third one is health crisis. And actually the fourth one is geopolitical tensions that's happening globally, including the conflicts. So if all these four things are happening around us in the 21st century, then how can we say that we are doing fine? We are not doing fine. Let's accept that. We are not doing fine. So we need to seriously consider what the demands are, not only from students' perspective, but also from the workforce, the kind of labor market, the demands of the labor market, and whether we are meeting those demands or not, and how best we can meet that demand. Because university is not all about just producing graduates. Okay, fine, you produce graduates, but the graduates are very disappointed when they're not able to find the job. And it goes back to the way you market your program. And I've seen, I'll wear my consumer hat, and often we've seen that the marketing is great, that we are offering all these courses, but unfortunately the student is not aware that he or she, when they do this particular course, there is no job for them. And I've seen it in the teaching field. We have got graduates waiting for a job from 2019, and now they're blaming the government, although we assisted with TELS and toppers and whatnot, but they're saying, where is the job? And we have to change the mindset of our students, and that can be done through secondary school as well as through university. That it doesn't mean that when you graduate, the job must be given by the government. There is this thinking, there is this perception that when I come out from the university, the job should be given. And I often get emails and letters from teachers who are saying that, we've been waiting at home from 2019, and why I'm not being given teaching position. So my question to them is that you may have graduated with economics. Did you ask Reserve Bank of Fiji why they did not give you a job? Or for that matter, any other statutory organization or private sector? But why is it that the burden is much bigger on the government? Right, so it's all about making the students understand that you just have to pick the right course where the demand is, and then you enroll in that course, and the job can be there. So from the ministry's perspective, we have started raising awareness in that area, loud and clear to potential students, that you better not study in this area or that area. You'll be waiting for a very long time to get a job. But that's how it is. I mean, we just have to work together to change the mindset of our students as well. I would like to also talk about my one particular important area in my view, and again I want to congratulate the Council and the SMT for drawing up such a good strategic plan. It's fit for purpose. When you go through that strategic plan, you just go, wow. That means all the thinking that was required, the data, the information that was required to come up with the strategic plan was put into place. And that's why you're able to come up with a beautiful document. And one component I am always excited and really look forward to its implementation is the employability component. I think there are universities who don't think of employability, but you have put it into your strategic plan. That means your focus will be there. But the only reminder that I would like to give out is that you can have the best document, but if it is not implemented, you will not achieve the various plans you have put into the strategic document. So implementation is very crucial, and that's something that I'll be requesting Chair that she needs to brief me on a 6-monthly basis or yearly basis, but I'll prefer 6 monthly, how you are moving with your strategic plan. It is important. Yeah. Because we do endorse the strategic plan, and therefore we feel that if the strategic plan is implemented, some of the things that the government would like to see will be put into action, and it will be realized. We are leaving everything in the good hands of the Council. You are here to look at the governance aspect of FNU, and it's really your decision, your call, how you drive FNU. Government interference is completely out. I mean, it's purported that by having permanent secretary, there is some influence from the government. But you know, recently, through the amendment of FNU Act, the permanent secretary no longer sits in the council meeting. So that gives you very wide freedom, and it also gives you an opportunity to make decisions on council matters. But I also understand that for a council to make its decision, the senior management team needs to provide the right information with facts and evidence and with right financing and whatnot. And it is for the council then to screen through those documents and see whether the SMT is leading you in the right direction or not. And that's where the debate and discussion takes place at the council level. But then again, I feel quite confident because we do have council members here in this room with different skills, expertise, and experience, which means that collectively you'll be able to screen such documents and then make a sound decision for the senior management team to implement or to act on it. The next point that I want to talk about, which is my favorite, it's TVET. But before I talk about TVET, let me just give you a snapshot of what's happening at or in the education system in the country. For your information, just 2 days ago, we managed to get some funding from GPE, the Global Partnership in Education. They've given us more than $1 million for Fiji to develop its education sector plan. And that plan will be developed through wide consultation. And that will set the scene as to how our ECE primary, secondary school, TVET will move and in which direction it should move. So that will be a mammoth exercise. We'll be looking at infrastructure as well as teacher training and so forth. The second assistance we managed to get from UNESCO is the technical advisor for TVET. Just like FNU, Ministry of Education is also transforming the system, education system. We're trying to overhaul the education system. Gone are the days where you provide your standard subjects, and that's the story currently with the Ministry of Education. Even if you go back to the school system, you'll find it's the same biology, same chemistry, same maths, almost same syllabus, same classroom setting, same wooden table and chair, and chalk and talk that goes on. So really nothing has changed the way it should have over the years. So to bring about that change, we believe that education sector plan will help. Plus, we want to give wider choice to the students. So at the earlier stage, they should be able to decide whether they want to take the academic line or they want to take the TVET line. And we'll be able to offer many other subjects. So we'll add variety to the current set of subjects that we offer, which is very traditional and archaic, I must say. For that to happen, obviously we need lots of data, we need consultation, we need to do assessment of what we have on the ground, like teachers, how many more teachers are we going to need for different subjects, and whether all schools should be offering the same, or should we have different schools just choosing academic, another school mix, or third school just taking the TVET line. I don't know, but that would be the study that will show or give us the direction. We tend to forget that for any society we need all types of professions and not just one type, which is what our schools are offering, which is very much academic in line. Everyone has to do the same maths, they have to do same chemistry, they have to do same physics. Whether you become a physician or not, or a chemist or not, but you end up doing all those subjects. And then later on, when you come out of school system, you don't use those subjects anymore. And you start questioning, why did I study all these subjects? Of course, the only consolation you get is that I studied all these subjects. Perhaps it has helped me in my investigative skills, analytical skills, etc., etc. But some of these subjects are so abstract, like chemistry. Then you start questioning, really, should I have done chemistry if I'm not using it in my real life? So that calls for the variation that we must offer. And we want to then link up with FNU. If we're going to come up with a TVET strategy at school level, then after school what happens? That is the next question. So it needs to feed into the university. So the paper that's going to come out is going to look at the TVET strategy for the country. And I did mention earlier on, to drive TVET in the country, we need Skills Council. And the team at Fiji Higher Education Commission is putting up a paper by consulting the private sector, how we're going to set up the Skills Council. And by having the Skills Council, then the pressure will be on. We cannot glorify and feel happy about the subjects or courses that we offer at university, because there'll be another set of people who will say, hang on, this is not what we want. And I saw a glimpse of that, to be honest, during the TVET Pacifica opening. I saw a glimpse of that. When the questions were asked from the floor, unfortunately, the team at FNU was not able to answer those questions. And I don't blame them, because they are academics. They are not TVET specialists. And that is the drawback that we have in the way we had tried to put TVET. You know, it should be dual, it should be twin track, but we are just trying to pack it under academic stream, which is not the best way forward, in my view. And I'm going to say to you that you need to relook at how TVET is being structured at FNU level, I mean at your the organization structure level. You need to relook at that. Right, and it is important because when we talk about TVET, it's really a highly skilled area, and there are a number of courses that FNU has offered, and I'm very proud of. For example, the aviation sector, maritime, hospitality. There's some very good area where FNU has produced very good graduates, and they are employable. And some of them have moved on to other countries. However, there is still shortage of the skills needed by the industry, by the private sector, which FNU has not provided. And I want to share some statistics with you. This is more to do with that 5,000 spots. Right. So the government took the bold step and, allocated 5,000 places for TVET education. And now we've done the analysis. We have seen that 1,523 places have been offered for TVET education. So we're not able to get 5,000 students to take up. It's only 1,523. Of the 1,523 students who were given support for TVET studies, 39 had marks over 300. Now that's positive. So there were students over 300 marks who opted for TVET. So that means there is slight change in thinking that TVET is not for failures. And 443 students had marks between 200 and 249. And then 358 had marks below 200. So that's how it is. But you can see there are students over 200 and above. Quite a number of students had enrolled for TVET. And we have also found that students only enrolled in 104 different programs, of which 61 programs had less than 10 students. So again, it's value for money if you're just teaching 10 students. The highest enrollment was in Trade Diploma in Customs with 161 students, and Trade Diploma in Office Administration with 108 enrollment. And I call these two courses really soft skills. It's not the hard skills that we need. So unfortunately, majority of the programs that would be seen as important in the changing environment and the way we want to focus on our economy, those courses were actually not taken up in big numbers where the demand is. For example, engineering programs, carpentry, plumbing, electronics, all this subject area had very few students. So that's not very nice, and something we have to do about. And I think the best way to start off is with the primary and secondary level, so that the interest will be there, and as soon as they reach year 12, they'll be able to make the decision and move out. But having said that, FNU needs to really look at other dual sector universities and see how they have reorganized their TVET. What have they done that is giving them good results? Right. I must say, when Fiji Institute of Technology was there, our good old FIT, they did wonderful work, and we have to acknowledge that. Yeah. It was a known technical institute, well known in the region, and we had a lot of regional students coming to FIT, and it was a very serious business. And students knew that you have to do your certificate 1, 2, 3, and there were these conversations within the labor force that I have not done my certificate 4 yet, or I haven't done my certificate 5 yet, and they were all gearing up for that. But somehow or the other, and this is my view, I think during the merger we have kind of lost TVET. And we have to find a prominent place for TVET at FNU. and make it shine, because that is your strength. That is your strength. As compared to other universities we have, they're all going for soft skills as well as higher education. But you have the past history that you can look into and see how you can reinvent the TVET program for FNU. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, another area that I feel FNU needs to look at is we are all party to Tokyo Convention, and we need to meet all the requirements of Tokyo Convention. We have to use those external benchmarks, and above all, the recruitment of staff at FNU needs to be robust, needs to be fit for purpose, and it should not be something that we have seen over the years, just because you tend to make a place in an organization and then you remain there for donkey's years without continuous improvement. Right. Continuous improvement is required if the private sector can do that, and it has been done through legislation. They have no option but to continuously study so that they become relevant. Similarly, universities need to focus on that. And I mean, I really don't want to pick on these issues, but I have seen it over a period of time, and particularly heading a very large ministry where I deal with teachers on a daily basis. It's a very, I would say, education sector is such an important sector, but somehow or the other, there is no, what I would say, we need to shake it up so that it sheds its baggage, past baggage, and focus on what the future should be like. Yeah. And that's what I haven't seen. And I do realize, because education sector is one, I mean, university is different, but with the secondary and primary school, there are teachers who have never ever given a job test. They've never ever given an interview. So if they don't give an interview, they don't give a job test, they don't know whether they're marketable or not, they've never faced a rejection in life, and therefore when they take up such position, they think they are it. I mean, we are the people. We will do what we must do. And that dynamics needs to change. And that also needs to change at the university level. You got to recruit the best people who can do the job. We can talk about culture, we can talk about maritime, we can talk about rural and urban settings, we can talk about our heritage, whatever we want to talk about. But at the end of the day, the child we produce, right, needs to go through that holistic development, and every part plays its role, and we cannot just be ignorant of that, right? But we should leave that choice to the students, and I think this is where the focus should be. And when we are reviewing our education sector in totality for Fiji, we will make sure that FNU Council and senior management team, you also have your input in developing this document, because at the end of the day, the students we produce enter universities, and there always has been this argument that what can we do if the students are not good enough? How do you expect us to produce a good labor force? So I guess we need to work together to take that direction and really shake up the education sector. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me. And I've made it very clear what the expectations are, and I look forward to the delivery of some of the things that I have said. So thank you very much.